In this module, we are going to be looking at ways you can navigate complex financial situations, because we want to ensure you have all the tools you need to navigate your financial life. So let's talk about it. Complex financial situations can throw anyone off balance, when they happen and you don't exactly know how to navigate them. So the first one I want us to discuss is job loss. This is something that a lot of people hope in their lifetime that they never experience, but it happens. So what do you do? Should you find yourself, or should your friend find themselves in this situation? The first thing is you go back to your emergency fund. Remember, earlier during this program, we talked extensively about the importance of an emergency fund. The security that a job provides can be a very cozy blanket to find yourself in. And for a lot of people, that consistent paycheck stops them from thinking about a what-if situation or about the future. But for you, I know that won't be the case, because we've talked about emergency fund. Now, if you find yourself in this situation, go back to your emergency fund. If you've done it right, it should be able to give you some buffer for the next 3 to 6 months, where you don't have to go through major financial anxiety just because of a job loss. And hopefully during this time, you're able to find something else to do. When there is job loss, the first pain point is the loss of income. So while you're waiting for your dream job to come along, after experiencing this, what do? You can look at ways you can monetize the skills that you have. If you are good at, say, video editing, I know it might not be exactly your career, it might be a side skill that you have. You can look for how to exchange that skill for money while you actively apply for jobs that suit your taste. Remember, the most important thing when going through this is to find other ways to make money before something amazing comes along. Another complex financial situation or life situation I would like us to talk about is health crisis or health emergency. So remember we talked about how health is wealth? Well, there are times where the body doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and we find ourselves going through maybe a medical emergency. This is the time, again, your emergency fund will come into play to create some buffer, and most importantly, your health insurance. A lot of people have gone bankrupt because of a medical crisis and lack of preparation for a situation like that. That is why we really emphasized the importance of having health insurance in place. Having an insurance company that will come to your rescue when an unexpected health crisis happens is a blessing. I'm sure that with your health insurance and your emergency fund, you'll be able to go through this phase and come out stronger at the end of it. On our list of complex financial situations, let's talk about debt management. So let's say for some reason you find yourself in a lot of debt due to some life challenges. We have talked in detail about how to navigate this type of situation. Remember, negotiate, communicate, budget, and prioritize. Those are some of the things you can do in this scenario. Now, another life situation that can happen that can create a bit of disruption in your financial life is welcoming a new child. A child can be a wonderful blessing. But we all know that babies are now expensive. So what do you do in this situation? It is amazing how life has been structured that you have at least 9 months to prepare for the arrival of this child. So during this period, it is where you want to be saving as much as you can. I would also advise that when the child comes, at least in the first 1 year, you don't necessarily have to overwhelm yourself with trying to get all the latest gadgets for your child. especially when it's coming at a time that your financial capacity might be overly stretched because of that. So, in the first 1 year of the child, you should be able to save and focus on the things that are important, like food, clothing, and some things that a child might need. Other fancy things, you might just want to stay away from that for now, while you save more and prepare more for the next phase of the child. Another financial situation that tends to disrupt people's financial life is wedding. Getting married is one of the most expensive financial engagements that Africans go through. Wedding day is a beautiful thing. You want the matching ashwebis, you want to kill 5 cows, have the most beautiful event center, and have all these beautiful things on your day. And you deserve it. But there are some important questions you should ask yourself. First, you have to be sure you prioritize the things that matter to you. So, does it really matter to you that you feed 1,000 people that you probably don't know 80% of them? Or does it matter to you that you buy the most expensive ashwebi for your family members? You have to ask the most important questions. If it is a 50-guest wedding you can have without breaking the bank, please do that without apology to anybody. I have seen couples that borrowed money to furnish their home with expensive gadgets just to have the perfect start. But they end up using the next 3 years of their marriage to pay off debt or to take up unreasonable loans to finance an elaborate wedding. Everybody goes home, they forget about the day, they've eaten the food. You are left with the debt. So having the right perspective about what is important to you and what you want to achieve is crucial. Let's talk about tax management, how you can effectively manage your tax and ensure that you don't overpay or underpay and get into trouble with the government. So the first tax you have to pay attention to is your income tax. Depending on your income bracket and your state where you're registered, you have to pay income tax. Ensure you always check your tax payment or your tax statement at the end of every month to be certain the percentage that is going out towards tax and you are not overtaxed. Now, when you do things like give to charity organizations, that is one of the tax-deductible activities you can do. So when you give, say, you have the habit of giving to charity organizations, when filing for your tax, you can include that as a tax deductible, because giving to charity organization qualifies as a deductible. Taking our tax conversation further, as an investor, you have to pay attention to the role that tax plays in your investment strategy. For example, with your stock investment and the likes, you have to pay 7.5% capital gain tax. Remember we talked about what capital gain means? So on the profit you make on your stock market through capital gain, you pay a particular percentage, which as at the time of recording this program was 10% flat rate. Also, on things like commercial papers, you pay withholding tax, which typically your brokerage firm would subtract from your profits. So these are some of the things you need to pay attention to when choosing the assets to invest into. I hope that helps. Last on the list of complex financial situations we're going to look at is the death of a loved one. This can be a very unpleasant thing to go through. And when this is maybe a significant provider in your home, it can cause a lot of financial disruption. I've seen children that lost their dad have to drop out of school because of that. Well, this I hope you never go through. But for some reason, if life throws that at you, what are the things you can do? First, don't panic, because you're going to figure it out. You take it one step at a time, one day at a time. This is the time you also want to look inwards and see how you can monetize the skills that you have. I've also gone through something like this, and one of the things that helped me was to gain a skill. So gaining a skill and becoming financially independent really helped me take control of the financial situation for myself. This is what you have control over. You don't have control over all the other aspects that comes with this type of situation. But you can acquire a skill, monetize it, and do better with your money to navigate this very difficult situation. I hope this helps. In this module, we've looked at some ways you can navigate complex financial situations. And I believe you're well equipped to navigate them should that come your way. You know how to navigate job loss, loss of a loved one, medical crisis, unexpected expenses. You have all the tools that you need. And I am very confident in your capacity to do the best for yourself in this type of situation. Well done. Congratulations. You have gone through this amazing program, Nairas and Kobos, brought to you by Leadway. And I'm sure that by now you have a lot of knowledge on how to better manage your finances. Let's take a quick recap on some of the things we've learned. We learned about managing your personal finance, the importance of it, choosing the right savings account for yourself, building an emergency fund, the art of mindful spending, how to spend in a way that aligns with your value and where you're going. We talked about retirement planning, building security into your finances through emergency fund and insurance. And we also showed you where you can access and explore the different insurance options offered to you by Leadway Assurance. We also looked at retirement planning, estate planning, and so much more. We even talked about how to navigate difficult financial situations, tax management, and a lot more. I am so proud of you for seeing this program through, and I am very confident that you are more than able to navigate any and all aspects of your personal finance. Well done.